You've come to the TV at the right time to see Inside Leisure World. We have made more than 100 episodes of this program. It's the Video Producers Club program, hosted and comes on different every month. So my name is Mary Apt, and I'm hosting today. And I have had the theme for several programs that I have had on of opening doors. I suggested opening the door of the library. There are other doors all around Leisure World that will give you new experience when you open the door. So today, a club that I want to highlight is the Wayrite Club. I have 3 guests with me. The new president, Carol Chambers, the publicity woman, Betty Scharf, and Darlene Gardner, who does the weight recording. Now, it's hard to say which of you should go first because Betty would be the specialist I've asked because of the fact that she knows a lot of the history of the club. Carol, of course, I've asked you to come because you're new. And Darlene, you're here so that we can understand the mechanics of how the club works and how the motivation is, how the information, the data for motivation is gathered. And but let's start with, I think I'll start with you, Darlene, because you are at the first place a person comes when they come down the hall in Clubhouse 3. A closet has been opened up there, and inside the closet there is an old-fashioned balance scale, and you sit at a table like a servant at a plantation, taking down the facts about how much that weighed and how much it weighed last month and how much it weighs, last week, and how much it weighs this week. And so tell me about that little closet. How do things go there?
Okay, well, first, the club has grown so much. I counted today, and we had about 65 active members, so it's gotten quite large since the beginning. And what I do is I weigh them in, or my assistant weighs them in, and we don't reveal what anyone weighs because a lot of people worry about that. So I weigh them in, and then I'm keeping track of like if they weighed in the week before and they've lost weight, then they go on a special sheet of paper, their name, so they can draw out of what we call a lucky bag, where we draw, and they get $1 for that. I'm keeping track all the time if they reach a short-term goal or a long-term goal, and then who is the top loser of the week. And then I also, at the end of the month, I have to figure out who was what we call the queen of the month, and the people who have gotten some kind of a degree or an award that month that I'll report at the first of every month. So it's a lot of book work, but I enjoy it.
So this motivation includes giving it a little shine by saying you can become a bachelor, a master, or a doctor.
Yes, yes. Well, I always try to, sympathize with anybody if they've gained, or try to give them some kind of encouragement. But if you get down to your goal weight, you immediately become a bachelor of goal weight. after you've kept that weight off for a year, then you become a master of goal weight. And then if you keep it off for another year, then you become a doctor of goal weight, and that's the highest degree that you can have.
Well, that's great. And the idea of maintaining once you've gotten someplace you want to be is a difficult situation, isn't it?
Yes, I really do. Since I've been there so long, I can see that when you're losing, you've got that goal. But once you get down to your goal weight, I think it's harder to maintain than it is when you were losing and you have that, I don't know, mindset to keep going down, I guess it is, or whatever helped you. But I really think it's more difficult to maintain that weight.
Yeah.
Which is 3 pounds, right?
Yeah, and you're not allowed to go more than 3 pounds over your goal, or else I will give you 2 months to get it off.
Oh, wow. So there's a little penalty business going on here, too, if you don't stick to business.
Yes. We have had a few people who have lost a degree and then got it back. I can use myself as an example, I guess. I, at one time, got down to my goal weight. And I was a doctor. I got to be a doctor, but I lost it. And now I'm back down to what my old goal was, and my new goal is much lower. I'm making it lower. But I am trying very hard to get there.
Yeah, and that's motivation, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Now, the motivation is not just in the closet there. It's also each individual is asked to participate by preparing a program that will help to inform how they are doing well, what they do know about nutrition, what they know about their own bodies, what they know about their exercise, and a lot of different factors go into the success or failure that people are having.
Yes, I think so too, but I don't know, I haven't given very many programs. I think I have only given one because I'm usually too busy doing everything else. But and also I think even when you stay for a meeting, one person can say one thing that's going to inspire you and give you maybe just that little something you needed to keep going or to reach your goal.
I came to the club first because I read your articles in the paper, Betty, about what had been going on at the club, and some things that I read there made me interested in saying, this club is not just silly songs and motivation to gain weight or lose weight. It's actually informative about the body and about nutrition. And so you're just capturing the information that various members give in a program, isn't that right?
Yes, that's one of the things that goes into this rather short column in the Leisure World newspaper every week. I believe it's of value because I do try to put some education into it about the body, or sometimes I have to correct some of the facts. But,
but you do a summary, yes.
I do a summary. I tell who lost the most weight for the week, and if we've had a contest, maybe who won the contest. I usually put in how many pounds the club lost for the week.
As a whole
It can be
group.
good, yeah, the whole group. It can be good or it can be not so good.
With 60 members, if everybody lost a few ounces, it would add up.
It adds up. Sometimes, like today, it wasn't so good because last week we missed a meeting because the electricity went out, so no one got to weigh in, and somehow that gave us license to eat a little more. And there were quite a few people that didn't do very well this week.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
It makes you realize the power that the club has.
We need that accountability. We really do. It's when you have to face, there's usually 45 or 50 people there, when you have to say what you've gained or lost, it can be uncomfortable. And we usually joke about it to save face, but
Yeah, you do.
yeah.
And Carol, how did you happen to come to the club? You said that you are a cancer survivor, but you're a short-term person. You haven't been in Leisure World that many years.
Right. 2 years. Betty's article drew me in. I
There
read
you
about
go.
it, and I said, well, I'll go check it out and see what it's about, because we literally have guests, visitors that you can come 3 times within a year to visit, and then decide whether you want to join or not, kind of thing. So.
Oh, that
Yeah.
kind of gets it off
Yeah.
to a good start, because you can come in the door,
Yeah.
join the group, see the group,
Yeah.
be a part of what's happening that morning,
Right.
and say, I really want to be a part of this, or I'll come again. Maybe I didn't didn't care for the program that much that day, but
Right.
as you say, just
Some
one
people
little
wanna
thing.
join right then. They don't want to wait that 3 weeks, so
Yeah.
we have it both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. I just way right is, I think, at our age, most important surviving cancer is to be healthy, and we encourage each other tremendously through the articles, through the speeches programs that we give each one. We give each other little points too, brownie points, if you do get up and speak. Because a lot of people have that fear of getting up in front of a group, even though we're all friends. There are people that are a little concerned about their speech or kind of thing and stuff like this. And we do have some that have some strong accents and stuff like that. But I think every single girlfriend in that group of mine, I tell you, I think they would give the shirt off their back and would help you
In any way.
tremendously in being healthy.
Yes.
Really being healthy. And I think that's the main goal of Weight Right, not only to weigh right, but to be healthy.
I took it very seriously when I had decided to give a program on the history of sugar.
Yes.
And I really enjoyed and wanted to be sure I got all the facts right, and
Right.
and it was a little bit something I hadn't done since I got out of school, really, to get up and speak and be responsible for what I'm saying. And
You did very well.
Yeah.
well,
Today.
the program that I gave was based on an article I saw in a magazine I take. It's called Aramco World, and it talked about the relics found in some Arabic world, some part of the Arab world, where they had first crystallized the juice, the sugar juice from the cane. And so I thought that's interesting history. But I got into more and more about the history of sugar, and actually bought a book about the history of sugar. And it was a lot more than I could give out in the program. But I really enjoyed researching it and finding the few things I could pass on. And
Sugar, my chemo doctor has told me sugar literally causes a lot of inflammation in the body. And so that's anywhere from diabetes to arthritis. So if you can, I want to say go natural with maybe even, like honey or just a little sugar or your fruits. That's the best way to go, kind of thing. Because as we get older, we get, where we want. Like I said, my thing is ice cream, so I have to. It's not like I never can have it, but you have to learn how much you can have and can't have, kind of thing. So
my display on the table here has some ideas to help you with portion control. You see this little tiny bowl. Well,
Yep.
that much probably wouldn't hurt you, but you can be happy to have a full bowl full at various sizes. You can have a full plate full. When you just have a small plate, it's not as much food to be a full plate full.
Yeah.
And I've also put some things here that you might forget about, and that's your greens. I've got celery here, and your fruits, and the tropical things that are a special treat, like pineapple. And down here on the floor we have a basil plant, which can really brighten something very dull, like a pasta dish. If you add some basil, it will brighten it up. And so we try to steer away from added sugar and
Or salt.
Absolutely.
Added salt.
white stuff's not so good for us.
No, yeah.
So we try to go with grains, whole grains, instead of
If you literally can shop
Bleach.
the outside of the market, you'd be a lot healthier person. It's all the stuff that's in the middle
that's
that's
been processed, been added,
Yep.
put together
Yeah.
to make money for someone, not necessarily for your health.
That's right.
Recent research has shown that sugar can even be related to early dementia. So it's more serious than we used to think. And we would all be better off if we didn't eat sugar in anything that we prepare or on the top of everything. Then the big issue is, do we use synthetic sugars or not? And most nutritionists will tell you that most of the synthetic sugars are not good for us. And but the
chemical.
research is out; they don't quite know, and so most of us still use them. But I certainly use a lot less sugar than I used to, and I try not to buy things like cookies or cakes or candies, or I try not to have them in the house.
You do discover how sweet beets, carrots, sweet potatoes, squash, how sweet they taste when
Yes.
you have not been having the added artificial sugars or the added sugar crystals on things. You really will find that there's sweetness in nature. And
Yep.
And I think they can be addictive. That's a harsh word, but I think the craving and need to eat sugar can get worse as you get older. And we're seeing the consequences of it in our age group. People are coming down with diabetes, they're coming down with heart attacks, they're coming down with a lot of skeletal problems that was probably related. All at once we're paying more attention.
especially if a sweet thing with added sugar that's been confectioned up for you is your go-to thing. When you become a little bored or you are tired and you decide, well, I'd like to go for a walk, I think I need more energy. If you have these, I would call them sort of crutches of sugar, you're not going to get out the door.
Well, they say the more sugar you eat, the more you're going to crave.
The more you want.
The more you're going to crave.
One of the fun things about Wayrite, we just have when they go around and give whether they've lost or gained, they usually have something funny to say if they've gained weight. You know, that, well, I don't know, what are some of the
Birthdays.
birthdays,
I had a wedding.
my dog's
Yeah.
birthday, or
Yeah.
I went to a party, or
Pigged out, yeah.
I can say one thing. I think I've heard about every excuse in the book, being
Yes,
being
yes.
in that weight room.
their neighbor gives them cookies, or their
The holidays,
sweetheart,
and the
or-
holidays are killer. You
Holidays.
know, holidays are very hard.
and it is there's a mindset in there that helps them make the choice to eat the good things. It's very hard, and
And we have a lot of people that eat emotionally,
oh
you know,
yes.
like you said, the boredom.
Yeah, they fought with their boyfriend, and we do have boyfriends in Leisure World, and it's just it's an emotional addiction, I think. And we have a few people though that come in, they put themselves on a healthy plan, and they stick to it, and it's so motivating. We have a lady that is now juicing her vegetables and fruits, And her husband helped her, and because he was overweight, and the two of them together have lost an enormous amount of weight. And they don't cheat. They don't cheat.
There it is.
Very
It's,
devoted.
it's very
Yeah,
motivating
it's,
to meet a few people like that aren't giving those other excuses.
Even if you juice once a day, it helps the system
It does.
pull things through.
The big topic or excuse today was the new Rite Aid store had a 5-cent ice cream cone, you know.
Going
The
to
grand
have-
opening or
yeah.
something.
And we couldn't stop them. It just, you know, everyone was excited about a 5-cent.
I decided not to recite the creed or have you give us the creed, but when people do decide to join,
Yes.
and then they're inducted into the group, they do make a statement that they will support
Help us.
others.
It's
you
a
know, that they
pledge.
won't say and do things to undermine or sabotage the others in the group.
Right.
And I think that we have seen in our society sometimes some real saboteurs, and so we have to feel safe in this group that everybody has at least said that they won't do that. And if
we also have a policy too. If you're feeling a little blue or down, you can call any of us, and we'll cheer you up, you know, kind of thing. And it's more or less like a little sisterhood kind of thing, you know. I mean, we've got a telephone list that you could call anybody, and they're there for you. That's what I like about it.
didn't remember that.
Yeah.
And if somebody's having a problem with something, you know, and they bring it up, you know, we will
Follow
try
through.
try very hard to give them ideas on how to get over whatever obstacle they're having, or
Either get over
being
it or around it.
or keep from being sabotaged, or what to say when someone's trying to
Yes.
sabotage you.
Yeah. Won't you have a cookie? I made them just this
Yeah.
morning.
Just
What
for
do
you.
Just for
Just
you.
for you.
Yeah, what can you say?
And our little
And there
motto
is
too.
something to say.
Yeah, and our little motto is slow and steady. You take one day at a time, you get through that day, and then just on to the next. As far as exercise, though, we really, really push walking 3 times a week, 30 minutes a day, if not more. If you know, it depends. We have people that are literally walking with walkers that come to the meeting and stuff like this, and they try to do what they can do, you know, up to the corner and back kind of thing or something.
Does upper body exercise count?
Yes.
Sure.
So arm.
There are a few that go to the class, the chair exercise class. They said you'd be surprised how hard they
work
you
out.
out.
At our age, some people are handicapped
Yeah.
with a bad hip or a bad knee or those kinds of things, and they cannot walk, or they can't walk far enough to.
But they
be
shouldn't feel that they
exercised.
can't exercise.
Oh,
No.
some one person goes swimming every day. We're so
And she just had
fortunate.
a new knee put in. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
we have a nice swimming pool. We have a wonderful gym. You can't ask for more.
Yeah.
But it's hard to get them moving. It's hard to get them moving.
Well, when you're pretty happy moving from your easy chair to the table, to the
Yes,
refrigerator,
to
the
the
stove,
To bed.
maybe you have a cupboard where you have some things that that are quite fattening, even if they're healthful things like nuts. You can't get into that nut
Yeah.
business too often.
One of the ladies told us, be sure and tell everybody how much fun we have. And we do have fun. There's a lot of laughter and a lot of responses that kind of poke fun. And
We have a great piano player. She
yeah,
wasn't
we have
there
a piano,
today.
and she plays the old 40s music, which gets us to dancing and whirling around. And
This is prior to the meeting. Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, prior to the meeting.
I remember when
And-
she came and first started with
Many
us.
years ago, and
Yes.
she's still
Awesome.
playing,
That's great.
and it's fun. We tell jokes.
Now, you mentioned that there are no men, and you had some sort of a little joke about that. I can't remember what it was.
I think I said it dampens our jokes or our
Oh,
fun, or.
Yeah, we can't.
But I will tell you a joke about men.
Uh-oh.
This is a joke. There was a recent medical release that women carry a little more weight, live longer than the man who mentions it.
That was the one I was thinking.
Yeah, we love
It's a
men.
women's group.
We talk about men, but we don't want them in the girls' club.
What stays it? What stays it? Stay, how they say it in Vegas? You know, they said what stays at way right. You know,
Yeah, what
stays at
happens
way
there
right,
stays there,
at
yeah.
way right, yeah, kind of thing.
So-
It's a sisterhood kind of thing, and yeah, we
We
really
bond.
like that.
There's a bond
Yes,
there.
yes, there is.
And it develops as the years go by, because sometimes you share the loss of a husband,
Yeah.
a person has had cancer, loss of a child. I mean, we go through these things with all people, and you can't belong to that club without suddenly feeling like a family.
That's,
And it doesn't come right at the beginning, but it develops. And
Yeah.
I think we help people in all situations of life, but we're about eating well and nutrition and being healthy.
and supporting one another.
And it's supporting. Supporting is the main word I like to use. We are a support system.
So it's a door worth opening in
Yes.
Clubhouse 3.
Yes.
It does have to be opened a little early in the morning, but
7:30.
Oh no, the meeting literally starts at 9, but you literally have to be there before about 8:30, between 8 and 8:30 to get weighed. Yeah.
Some of us like to come in and weigh so that we can eat breakfast, and the
There you go.
breakfast doesn't make us eat way more. And
I see.
Yeah,
so we bring
Or
our
visit.
own
Little
snack,
milk and
I've seen someone with a little yogurt dish
Yes.
or a little basket of berries or
Right.
something
we
like
chat, we talk, we look at the new little newspaper. We have a good time at 7:30
that. That's
or 8
right.
o'clock
Friday
in the
morning comes right after Thursday's paper
That's right.
is out.
Yeah,
So that's a good time to have a meeting.
yes.
So
I don't think we've mentioned the contest that we have.
No, tell us about the contest.
Oh, well, I'm not.
We
the
have
contest
about 3
chairman, but-
contests, a year, and it inspires us all to do our best as far as we could have. We had the spring, we just had their spring fling contest, and we have one member, which is our vice president. She literally creates a flower pot, and every time you lose a pound, you got a flower to do the pots, and whoever would lose, would get prizes and stuff like that. We give out kind of thing like this. And then we have our annual luau too, that we have a big potluck party too, which is really a lot of fun.
Oh.
We dress Hawaiian and the whole bit, and we have a lot of fun there, and it's inspiring. So,
the,
we do things.
And
it's pretty well rounded.
yes.
When half the year's up too, I guess it'll be at the luau. I'll also give a report on the people who have lost the most weight since the first weigh-in of the year, and there's I guess that's just for the contest. They get the money, but at the end of the year, the 3 people who have lost the most do get cash money.
So
Those penalty points add up. We end up having a lot of money in our treasury. So at the end of the year, they get a free breakfast and these awards
prizes
that
and
are
awards.
pretty sizable.
So this is a good group, and I want to thank you all for coming today and talking
you.
about Way Right and talking about how in Leisure World there's something fun and profitable for your body and your pocketbook.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for
No,
having
it's-
us.
We want to inspire people to do well,
Yes,
healthy.
be healthy.
be healthy. That's the basic
We have a
idea.
lot of good years left.
Okay.
Yes. I just look forward to being better in these last years.
Good.
And I want to thank our green room was supplied by John's Philly Grill. We had a little snack back there. And we want to thank them and thank our crew